Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tidbit Tuesday. Thanks for your patience with me as I have been traveling and been able to see some of you. And I'm just so grateful for the wonderful memories that we have been able to build the past month. And anyways, today I'm going to talk about grief. And as you can tell, I'm wearing my jammy pants today. Like I am in the full swing of feeling grief. Yeah, I can put on makeup, I can look great, but deep down inside, like there's grieving going on, and I'm sure all of you can relate. So this past week, about a week ago, one of my dear friends who I would call my best friend passed away. And although it wasn't a surprise necessarily because she's been battling cancer for a long time, it still is hard. It's so hard. And she, she was in this group even. And I'm just, experiencing a lot of grief right now. And I might look great on the surface, but deep down inside there's a lot of feelings of broken heart and things like that. So while it's been on my mind, I figured maybe there were some things that I could help you with, because I'm not always smiles and whatnot. There are times I just ugly cry and can't feel consoled and all those things. So today I wanted to talk about my little diva, talk about grief, and I'm just going to highlight some of the things that have been helpful for me knowing about these oils. And I'm not talking about the kind of oils that are like, okay, pull yourself together, you're going to feel great today. I'm going to talk about the oils that we need when we're struggling, when everything seems hopeless, when things are just really bad. That's what I'm going to be talking about, because that's what I am going through right now with the loss of my best friend. So anyway, so bear with me while I talk about these oils here. So the first one I wanted to talk about is breathe. And breathe, you think respiratory, but I'm just going to go through these and kind of put them on just so you can kind of see how to do it. I won't take a lot of time, but breathe. Okay, so breathe, it comes in a roller bottle also like this. And when it comes to breathe, you just need a drop, really. So you can see right here. So just put a drop in your hand. So breathe is for those who feel suffocated by sadness, or grieving the love that they never had, the love they should have received but didn't, grieving from things that have happened in the past, or that where grief has been trapped inside. I see this a lot with relationships that have gone bad, or there never was real love, or we just didn't feel the love, or a traumatic experience in childhood where there wasn't a lot of love given and received. So that's what it's for. I mean, these oils, you can use them as often as needed. You can use them day and night. You can use them all over yourself every minute of the day. And I've done that before with essential oils. So that one's breathe for you. The next one I want to talk about is deep blue. Okay. Deep blue, people don't often think of these two, breathe and deep blue, being very emotional at their base, and they are. Oh, now I'm gonna cry. So man, see, these oils really help pull out the junk. They're not here to make us feel like everything is just beautiful and glorious. They're to help us really transition and grieve properly. So I probably will cry during this as I use these oils. Okay, so deep blue is especially for resisting healing that comes through proper grieving and feeling like, and helps you feel more like an observer of your pain versus a victim. So sometimes when we're going through it, we feel like we're a victim, we feel like we've been targeted. And deep blue helps us see ourselves as more of an observer. Now, as I have been grieving, I have had a lot of aches and pains, one of which is on the side of my leg here. Other ones, and this could be because of pregnancy, or it could be because of, grief, but a lot of lower back pain. Sometimes I feel it in my neck. Sometimes I feel, Phyllis, you need to sit down. So sometimes I feel it in my heart. Because we do. So that's what deep blue is good for. The next one I wanted to talk about is geranium. Geranium is definitely a good oil to have if you're grieving. It is an oil that helps open the heart to trust again when we've been hurt and when we've experienced loss. So geranium, I don't love the smell of it, but boy, I love the benefits of it. I'm just putting a little bit over my heart. What it does is it helps open the heart to love again, to trust again, to be emotionally honest with ourselves, to feel worthy of love and forgiveness. So it heals the broken heart, and it instills unconditional love, and it fosters trust. It's a beautiful essential oil to have on hand to help us feel like we can trust, we can move on. Anyways, I bet my friend is here with me right now, which is why I'm crying. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is Alang Alang. Do I really want to talk about this? Okay, so Alang Alang introduced me to my first really, really deep emotional experience with essential oils. I had read somewhere months before a certain experience that Alang Alang was used to help this Asian couple really come to terms with loss. And so the months later, when I found out I had miscarried my third child, I found out the same time I found out that I was having a boy, I also found out there was no heartbeat. And I just remember feeling so hopeless. I had just started taking the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack at this point. And at first I wondered, okay, is the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the doTERRA vitamins throwing my body into a shock? And then I found out that the miscarriage was from nothing that I had done or anybody else had done. It was completely just, the umbilical cord was knotted. Really, nothing I could have done, nothing anybody could have done, really. And so at that time of immense grief for me, I remembered Alang Alang. And I went through probably an entire bottle the first couple months. And Alang Alang doesn't come out super fast. It's one of those that's more, not super thick, but, a little thicker. And what I did through that whole time, day and night, I put this on all day long. Every day after that, I put it on my ears. That was really awesome for me to be able to smell it and to soothe my mind, because reflexology for the mind in the ears is the earlobes. So I put it on the earlobes, I rubbed it on my hands, I rubbed it everywhere. I rubbed it on my arms, I rubbed it on the back of my neck, I rubbed it anywhere where I could smell it, because I needed the emotional benefits of Alang Alang. So what Alang Alang does emotionally for us is it reconnects us with our inner child. And when I lost my child, I feel like I lost a part of myself. I lost part of my inner child. And so what Alang Alang had helped me do was reconnect with that inner child deep within inside me that could trust, that could love, that could forgive. And it also helps remind us of the pure and simple ways of the heart. It restores play and the childlike innocence and heart knowing through our heart what's real. Knowing that even though my son had passed on, that he was still part of me, that my heart still had that connection with him. And that brought a lot of peace, being able to feel from my heart and not just grieving with the anxiety and depression of my mind. So it really helped me, and Alang Alang does this, releasing emotional trauma from the past and bottled up emotions, and it helps restore, support the flow of the grieving process by giving each emotion a chance to be felt and then letting go. So I'm getting a lot of this information from the Emotions and Essential Oils book. So if it sounds like I've got stuff memorized, I really don't. I typed some stuff up beforehand and I'm looking at it. So anyways, so that's what Alang Alang can help us do. Feel the good and the bad, and then let go of the bad and just hang on to the good. Just like, childhood innocence and love and trust. Okay, so that's Alang Alang. So I love Alang Alang. Thanks so much for watching this video with me and for your sympathy. And because these have been so helpful for me, I really want those of you who are struggling, which I know so many people in this Facebook group are going through a really rough time right now, with seasonal mood changes, remembering the loss of somebody who's passed, remembering hardships, having these things come to our mind a lot of times at the end of the year, around the holidays. I want these to be something that you can grab onto. So the next one I wanted to talk about is Aroma Touch. Now this is the massage blend. It's named after the Aroma Touch technique, which it's used in, or the Aroma Touch technique is named after this. What Aroma Touch does is it helps open the heart from stiffness toward flexibility. So when we just feel so stuck, so stiff, so rigid, so I just can't move on from this, I can't let my emotions be seen, that stiffness, it helps us let our hearts kind of open up a little bit more. So especially good in times of grief and sadness, allowing those emotions to flow through us instead of getting stuck. So it helps also release, stress and tension along with the grieving process. Because I have a lot of stiffness in my lower back, I'm going to put it there. Right now, I, have fortunately been able to reap the wonderful benefits of being on the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and that has helped a ton with grieving, just giving my body the basics. So even when I'm eating crappy because I am grieving and I don't feel like making anything healthy, the Lifelong Vitality Pack has given me kind of that foundation so that my body can still process things without feeling like crap, like the crappy stuff I'm eating. So Aroma Touch is really great for that. I might need it on my heart to loosen things up too. The next oil I want to talk about, I have to read it from the book. There is just so much goodness in it. It is Manuka, and this is one that is not available for regular purchase. It came out as a promotion a couple months ago, but it's wonderful, and I feel like I need to read it. Manuka is, it's beautiful, gold label, and it really is amazing. So I want to read about Manuka. So Manuka is a powerful plant given as a gift to the earth to heal and bless humanity. It carries a unique energy signature that raises the vibrations of those who are blessed to come in contact with it. The purposes of Manuka are multifaceted, each part adding its mission to its divine whole. Manuka's primary message is to remind individuals that they are known by the divine, and that's super important. When you're going through trouble like this, to remember that God is with you and that he loves you. So like every flower and sparrow, each person is known, loved, and cared for. Manuka invites the heart to open to the gifts and blessings bestowed daily in abundance and to live in states of gratitude and wonder. Manuka also offers powerful healing energy to bind up wounds, soothe troubled hearts, and nurture souls back into a state of centeredness. The gifts of Manuka and its role in transmuting suffering into transcendence. Its special alchemy transforms lower states of consciousness into higher vibrations of awareness. It facilitates a connection between heaven and earth and encourages access to that sacred space where individuals can rest and simply be upheld. And that's sometimes what you need. You just need to just be held. Be held. And Manuka is wonderful. Really helps you feel like you're in that space of I'm being held, like a little baby being held by, the most wonderful, father who loves and nurtures and has your intentions, your best intentions in mind and best intentions for you at heart. So Manuka offers energetic safety and shielding from intense problems all around that individuals feel powerless to change. So when we feel powerless to change something, it can help us shield us from those feelings where we feel like a victim and we can't do anything about it. It also, and it says, once the individuals surrender their weights and burdens that they carry, they're free to connect to the overflowing divine goodness waiting for them. Manuka encourages tapping into an infinite universe of creativity and love. It invites all to access higher realms of learning, growing, serving, loving, and existing. Manuka helps individuals understand that they occupy a unique space in the universe. There is always enough for them, and they will always be taken care of. It reminds them that even though there are things to grieve, divine love will return beauty for ashes. So I really love that one. That's Manuka for you. All right, the next one I wanted to talk about is console. Okay, this one is probably, if you just get one, console might be it. Console comes in a touch roller, and it also comes in a bottle like this. And I get both of them because diffusing console is one of the most amazing experiences I have ever experienced. Console, just walking into a room and smelling console feels like I'm walking into heaven. That sacred space of peace and comfort. So, and I'm really partial to console. And I was even before I started, this grieving process that I'm going through now. But console really is amazing. So I use that one for the diffuser. And then this one, I just rub all over me. And you can tell I am rubbing lots of oils on me. You totally can. There's no overdose that's going to happen. As long as you wait about 30 seconds between each oil, you're giving each oil the right chance, the chance to, I'm putting it here too so I can smell it. This one's a more mild one, so I feel okay doing that, putting it under my nose. I just want to smell it. Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about console. So console is a really good comforting oil. It's called the comforting blend, and it soothes emotional pain during or after periods of extreme stress, trauma, hurt, grief, or loss, tragedy, and it helps release these emotional burdens. Let me see if I can find it in here. It's the comforting blend. All right. It says, when a storm is raging in one's heart or mind, or when there is no relief from fear, emotional pain, or anxious feelings, comforting blend or console can assist individuals in taking the first steps toward healing. It encourages individuals to seek divine intervention so that they may experience the ever-present mantle of warmth, love, and consolation. This comforting blend helps ease one's burdens, assist in experiencing a serene heart and mind, and guide individuals toward emotional rest. So good. It is so good to have. I've been using it like crazy. When I don't know what else to use, console. I mean, it's called console for a reason. And sometimes you just need to be consoled. Okay, we're on the downward slope of these oils. I just want to talk about two, and then really quickly a couple more after that, but just two more. So Siberian fir, right here. Siberian fir is one that I wouldn't necessarily think of also being one for grieving, but it does help with comforting during periods of grief, regret, longing, or loss, and it helps bring emotional reconciliation to a life with mixed experiences. So whereas we've had a lot of horrible experiences happen to us and a lot of good experiences, it kind of helps us make sense of what's going on. It helps us reconcile with our lives and weighing the good and the bad, and then let go of the things that are not serving us. But it helps us, it kind of puts our minds in a state where we can make appropriate decisions even in times of grief. So it kind of gives us kind of another perspective of, okay, here's the mental power you need to decide what to do with these emotions. And it's really powerful for that. So this is one that when I or you or somebody you know finds themselves delirious with grief, can't seem to make good decisions, which I have been going through on and on again. Like, do I answer my phone? Do I ask for help? Do I even have the power to do this? Can I do this? Should I do this? Is it too soon to do this after somebody's passed? All those things you wonder. It can help us keep our heads during those times so that we can make appropriate decisions during times of grief, which is pretty amazing. So it also helps us stay present. So a lot of times when we're grieving, we just think about the past. Our mind just keeps going to the past and going to the past, and we're having trouble being present, being like, no, I still need to live even though I'm grieving. And Siberian fir can help with that. It's also an inflammation oil, so this one might also help with stress related to decision making or anything in terms of stress or grief or whatever. Can help us make good decisions during those times. Okay, I did want to talk about frankincense because I love frankincense so much. So what frankincense does for us is frankincense allows us to perceive the light and the truth during transition. So sometimes we swing from one end to the other. Oh, times were so good about this time, and oh my goodness, I can't believe they're gone. And, how am I going to move on? And I'm trying to move on, and our minds are just filled with so many thoughts. Frankincense can help us. I just put a few drops under my tongue. I'll also put some on my forehead here. Anyways, so that frankincense can really help us discern between, okay, here's the light coming in during this time. So it's also a cleanser of spiritual darkness, and it helps us little by little let go of emotional baggage that's weighing us down. It allows us to let down the walls and barriers in our heart. And it also helps us to feel connected to the divine and help us to feel the loving, gentle, guiding, and protecting power of a heavenly Father. I love that. It really is. When the wise men brought frankincense to baby Jesus, it was very important to me that frankincense is an oil that symbolizes God, and his love, his nurturing, his forgiveness for us, his all-encompassing love and unconditional love and compassion for us. And it also brings in so much light into our minds, which is why I put it under my tongue, because I need it in my body. And a lot of times when I grieve, because I cry and I kind of sometimes hold back the tears or whatever, my neck, my thyroid area gets affected by it, and also does my heart. And so when I put some on my, so when I put it under my tongue, it kind of goes down there, I feel. And also when I put it on my mind, it also helps me let in that light, that goodness, so that, you know, even despite all the crazy things around us, we can still feel that light. One more thing that it does is it helps us shield our bodies from relentless negativity, and allowing the light and truth to enter our minds and our hearts, helping us find out who we truly are and what we can learn from these experiences. And the last two oils I wanted to talk about are lime and tangerine. These are citrus oils. They're the only two citrus oils I'm going to talk about in terms of grieving, because there are certain moments in our grieving process that we really need to add some spice back. What lime does, and this is a great one to put in water or in the diffuser, or just breathe it in from our hands. Lime gives us a zest for life again. It really just adds that zest back in. Okay, it's upstairs. Okay, so it adds that zest for life back in, little by little, as much as you can take it. I mean, definitely use these other oils to help you grieve, because I really know that it's so important to grieve. Not to grieve forever, unless it takes us that long, which is fine, but to process things when we need to. For example, one thing that has been interesting for me is as this experience has come about with my friend passing, there are certain things that, you know, I have to do regardless. I have to take care of a family and do all these things. But there are also certain things that have slowed down for me, allowing me to properly grieve. And there are times where I just don't want to get out of bed anymore in the morning, or I don't want to face the day, or I just am feeling so weighed down emotionally that I can't even think straight. And in those times, we need to grieve. We need to take care of ourselves. Grieving is an important part of life. And when we grieve properly, when we give ourselves what we need to truly just grieve out all the bad and retain all the wisdom we learned through this experience, the goodness, the compassion that we've gained from these experiences, then we can truly move on from the sadness and only carry the good with us. My tangerine has been almost gone for months, and I haven't replaced it yet. But I might be able to get a little bit out here. Okay, so I did get a little bit. So tangerine, hopefully you get a full bottle. It's really not that expensive. I don't know why I haven't replaced it yet. Yeah, so tangerine, what it does is it brings a childlike lightness, and it can pull us out of even the darkest moods. So when feeling to the point where, you know, sometimes when we are going through grief, we feel like we might as well be gone. We might as well be the one that was taken, or why do we deserve to still be here when the ones that we love have passed on, or why do we deserve it? And sometimes we might even feel like it would be better if we weren't around. And when we feel those experiences, definitely get counseling, medical attention as needed. I've just been grateful that I have been able to use essential oils and see if they help first, and they always have. And so what I have done in experiences like that, where I just feel like, how can I move on? Or is there even a point to this? Or it would be so much easier to just go, you know, and not have to deal with the immense struggle going on right now. Frankincense is my grace of God oil. Frankincense, when in doubt, use frankincense. And then what I have done, as well as frankincense, is to use oils like tangerine that bring, that lift even the darkest moods, and then also console, which can really help us feel consoled through these experiences. So anyways, I'm sorry it took so long, but I am grateful that you've watched this. I'm not saying don't get medical attention if you need to. If you need to see a counselor, go see a counselor. If you need medications, I'm not saying it's bad to get medications, but I just wanted to talk today about proper grieving, and that essential oils are such powerful tools to use in times of grief. Whereas medications can help us when we're feeling very extremely saddened and burdened, essential oils can help us cope and release and process and bring reconciliation back and all those things, so that we can feel better about ourselves and not just be reliant on different things like that. So thanks, Dana, for joining me. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I love you all. I'm so glad I have gotten to see you, some of you this past couple weeks, and I hope you're doing well. Keep me posted. If you have any specific issues that you want to address or dealing with in relation to grief, let me know, and I can help make recommendations. So thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Happy Tuesday.